It is time. Hi, Puffy, Christy, Coco. How's it going? Um, it's me. I'm here. It's time for Ace Attorney. This is day 5 of 6 in a row for me at work. But I was like, hang on 1 second. Something's going on. I think there's just something where, like, every attempt I make to stream gets stopped or interrupted somehow. So the dogs have never fought before. They'll play, like, rough sometimes with each other, but Blue was literally just napping, and my grandma's dog just went over and was, like, biting her. Like, to the point where Blue was screaming. I don't know if you heard that. So they're separated now, and everything is fine. But that was very weird. It wasn't, like, aggressive enough to cause any damage. It was just a very strange thing. So I had to go to handle all of that. That being said, hello. Hi, SpongeBob. Sorry, I literally just ran away. Yes, they're all okay. There was no injury or anything like that. I don't know if Blue was just scared or what happened. But everybody's okay. I just heard the dogs screaming. Both of them were making, like, loud noise. So that's why I ran away and checked everything. I'm gonna be honest, I thought there were kids in your house. I mean, they basically are. That's how it feels sometimes. But yeah, everything's fine. So now that 11 minutes of the stream have gone to do that, I thought those were human noises. Yeah. Maybe one day soon I'll be able to stream as planned without interruption. Ah! Anyway. Oh yeah, we were talking to Miles. Oh, did we already show him all the things? I don't remember if we did. I don't remember if we showed him all the things. Show him more things so we get to talk to him more. Okay. Yeah, I genuinely don't remember what I showed him and what I didn't. And of course, my thing is... Whoa! It can only go up from here, right? The stream. It can only go up from here. Yeah, $80 price tag is pretty rough. Does he have anything to say about anything? Nope, great. We are looking into leads, but we can only look into a few key players with our limited resources. There's no reason for us to waste our energy investigating this person. Oh, okay, that was his... Okay, that's his I don't have anything to say. Howdy! Miles, you are utterly useless. Oh, okay, here we go. There is an interesting rumor about this man. You mean the one about Miss Andrews getting close to him? But that's pretty common tabloid fare, isn't it? I don't take things at face value when there's more to be... Wait, I just skipped it. I don't know what his last word said. Well, these types of actors became popular, I take it. Well, refreshing like a spring breeze is his motto. Refreshing? And what is so refreshing about a spring breeze? Sounds like the pollen is not treating him well this year. Hi, Coley. Adrian Andrews. She holds a large secret within herself. A secret? You can't help but feel that this whole case revolves around her. This woman is another key to solving this case. Do you really think so? She was Adrian Andrews' mentor a long time ago, but she was suddenly called away by a different show and became Juan Carita's manager. Yeah, they were. It was very weird. Disney. And then a few months later, Celeste Impacts died. But her death was ruled a suicide, right? Yes, but there is still one riddle we've yet to solve. It says yet to solved. Type! A riddle? Her suicide note. It went missing. No one could find it. A suicide note that just vanished, huh? Wait, everybody's Wi-Fi went out? But aren't y'all in 3 different states? That's strange. Are you sure it might... Maybe it was Twitch? Stream had a network error? Maybe it was Twitch. Are we good? We're back now? Oh, here we go. Miss Impacts' death was most certainly a suicide. Of that, there is no mistake. However, we could not find her suicide note. That's when the police began to suspect that someone had hidden it. The suicide note? But how do you know Miss Impacts had even written such a note? I don't know, man. But there was no solid evidence, however. We did find traces of ink on her right index finger, which makes the likelihood of a suicide note very high. But who would hide such a thing? The police think it was Mr. Juan Carita himself. The victim? He was the one who found her body, which makes him the only person who had a chance to hide her suicide note. Mr. Juan Carita hid his own manager's suicide note, but why? As long as her note's missing, any speculation beyond this is meaningless. For now, I think you should look this over. This is the suicide report, part 1 anyway. Part 1? I don't like to look through reports. I like suicide reports even less. Worst of all are the reports that have multiple parts like that one. That has 2. 2 parts? What you just handed me is the first part of the report. Here's the second part. The second part of the report is about an attempted suicide. The attempter's name is Adrian Andrews.
Miss Andrews? What did she do?
She tried to kill herself? She doesn't seem like the kind of person to try to kill herself, though. You think she's a strong career woman? That's just what she wants you to think. Adrian Andrews, she has a certain secret she's always trying to hide.
A secret?
Her dependent nature, that's what she's really like on the inside. Miss Andrews, dependent? Talk about the exact opposite of what that woman is. Am confused! Okay. I hope that Twitch, like, because, like, I haven't had any interruptions or dropped frames or anything. So I really hope that Twitch, like, allows the stream to continue. Okay. Bye, Miles. I don't remember what the last thing is I showed this dude. So I'm gonna show him all of it. So why are you carrying around that transceiver? I wanted to ask you about it. Why do you do everything it tells you to do? You know, the messages it sends you, dude. One second, Patty probably doesn't have anything to do with Maya's kidnapping. That's a secret. Wrong person. Okay, whatever, dude. I forgot how much I liked the Matt voice. Thank you. Dude, I know I like to throw the money. Oh, that's the same thing he says when he doesn't know anything. What do you think about this article? If you're talking about her thing with Juan, I always thought she was a bit careless in the way she handled it. I think we already talked to him about this. That's it. That's it. I don't think I have any other profiles to ask him about, right? That's my manager. Did you meet her? Yeah. What do you think? Strong woman, right? And she takes good care of me.
What's wrong?
How much do you know? What do you mean, how much? Mr. Lawyer, I may be your client, but I hope you'll keep yourself out of my personal life. No, I would never... Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a lunch appointment I have to keep. You're in jail! You're in detention. Who in the world are you gonna go eat with? The security guard?
Mr. Nick?
This Celeste Impacts lady, somehow I get the feeling she's a very important person in all this. I'm trying to remember who I talked to about what, and I definitely don't remember. Lunch with myself. I can't cancel that again. Chick-fil-A? I couldn't ask Matt about Miles. Whoops. Okay. Where is Francisca? Oh, something's happening. I still have a few questions I want to ask her.
And she has that psyche lock on her heart, right?
Well, we don't have much of a choice. I guess we'll have to come back later. Is there anything new to look at? Was that there earlier? Are there more bears here than there was before? Not me trying to know what to do. I feel like I've talked to everybody about everything. She's gone. Adrian's gone. I apparently can't go to the detention center? Oh, yes. Yeah, I just walked into the room and they were like, she's not here. Pearly just said that.
She's still got the psyche lock on her heart.
I'll go back. See? That's okay. But nope. Nobody here. Yes, I did. Sorry, Pearl, I didn't mean to make you sad. I just don't know what to do. I've covered all topics. I've presented all... I'm pretty sure I talked to Miles all the way. I'll go double check. He gave me the suicide note thing. Oh, I didn't see that. Okay, what's this about Miss Andrews having a... Why was it at the top? Usually when new conversation topics pop up, they're at the bottom. That's why I didn't see it. What's this about Miss Andrews having a dependent nature? Adrian Andrews' attempt at suicide was a few days after the death of Celeste impacts. And why did Adrian Andrews think about committing suicide? Because she had apparently lost her will to live. Lost her will, but why would she? Her pillar of strength, her mentor Celeste Impacts, was gone forever. That's why. Why would that...
Is this what they call following someone to the grave?
After her attempted suicide, Adrian Andrews started attending counseling sessions. She is someone who needs a person in whom she can trust absolutely. And once she finds that person, she'll do anything she can to keep them near. Without such an anchor in her life, her crippling anxiety stifles her ability to live. And that's the nature of her dependency on others? When Celeste Impacts suddenly committed suicide, the world before her turned pitch dark. That's according to Adrian Andrews herself. Then that means her super confident attitude, it's all a facade. She's only copying her mentor's behavior to hold herself together. How terrible. Okay. So now I got this. Appearances can be deceiving. It's such a cliche saying, but it's cliche because it's true. Miss Andrews. To think that behind that unwavering, brave front, she's been hiding this weakness and fear. Okay. This guy, gone. I pushed him all the way away. I don't understand why I can't travel from, like, the hotel to other things, but... If you want to, you should. I always have a fun time with it. Oh, that's a nice fix. Okay. Gatewater Hotel, On Guard's hotel room.
Oh, Miss Andrews is here. But it looks like she's talking with someone.
That's Franziska von Karma. Oh no.
Miss von Karma! What are you doing here?
Well, you see, I'm his lawyer, so... You got some nerve following me around. Following you?
That's you, Miss von Karma. You're the one doing the following.
Pearls.
You're always following after that Mr. Detective with the little beard.
The little beard. Don't talk about my gumshoe that way. He's precious.
Me, following after Scruffy? Don't make me laugh. Let me show you something interesting, little girl. Beep beep. Beep beep. Beep beep. What's that? An electromagnetic receiver. I planted a tracking device on that detective. And with this, I know that fool's every move. I don't know if that's legal, Ms. Von Karma. So that noise we heard was this receiver. I feel really sorry for poor Detective Gumshoe now. I feel sorry for him all the time. Now then, let's stop wasting time. Adrian Andrews. Yes? Think hard about what we just discussed. Understood?
Alright. What were those two talking about?
Miss Andrews, she seems a little dazed, doesn't she?
Are these... I bet these are the things I need for her Psyche Lock, don't I? We gonna do a little safe. And we gonna do some Psyche Lock. I did. I saved the game, Christy. I did it. The Nancy Drew, like a bullet from a gun. She arrives on the scene. A young detective who doesn't know the meaning of fear. When she's hot on the case. No time to waste when you're face to face with the evil that is lurking, but you just can't see it. Persist, persevere, and the problem will disappear. When you're in a bind and you don't know what to do, get down with the Drew crew. Creeping and a crawling, sneaking and a peeking over the horizon. Who could it be? Into the A to the N-C-Y. She doesn't battle with her fists, but with her mind all the time. When she's solving a mystery. Bad boys and girls, your history locked up. Where your choices are few. A resident in a room without a view. Do the crime and it's time you will do. Another victim of the Drew crew. You're welcome. Hi, Spartan. Bars. Thank you. Thank you. You better believe I sang every word with you. Thank you for not leaving me hanging. Alright, we're gonna do this girl's Psyche Lock and we'll see what happens. Motive for murder. Okay. Why was Juan Carita murdered? If you ask me, I think you know the reason he was killed. Why are you hiding things? Don't you realize you're putting Mr. Engarde's life in danger by your actions? Why do you ask questions for which I have no answers? Did I move? No. I rearranged my room a few months ago, but no, I haven't moved. You were not that close? That's right. I've never been good at being intimate with another person. You are not good at being intimate with another person. Somehow I highly doubt that. She lying. She lying. You and Mr. Kurita had an intimate relationship, did you not? Fine. Same as usual. A silly third-rate tabloid article. If you even had half your wits about you, you wouldn't believe such rubbish. Well, it seems quite a few people have already bought into this story. Oh, nice. I hope it was nice. I'm glad it was a good clip. As to be expected in a world filled with crooks and liars. Note to self, stay on her good side. In any case, I despise interpersonal relationships like that. I see, however. What if there was a need for you to get close to someone? Me? A need to get close to Mr. Kurita? As if there was ever such a need. Didn't you get close to Mr. Kurita for this person's sake? That would have been her own sake. Oops. Oh, for this person's sake. I misread. Okay. Nope, nope, I messed up. I keep messing up. I don't remember the info. You get close to Mr. Kurita for Celeste's sake? I'm gonna just reload if I get it wrong. Celeste Impact's your mentor? How do you know about Celeste? Miss Impacts, she committed suicide, didn't she? But it looks like no one knows why. Right before her death, she was Juan Kurita's manager. So I believe you got close to Mr. Kurita so you could find out more about her suicide. You have a great imagination. You may have a future yet as a slimy muckraker for a putrid third-rate tabloid. Miss Andrews, there was no mystery surrounding her death. None. It would be pointless for me to force myself into a relationship for nothing. Is that really true? Was there really no mystery at all? I don't believe you are completely at ease with the way her suicide was resolved. Because of the suicide note hidden. Miss Impact's suicide note was never found, was it? It looks like the police were under the suspicion that someone had hidden it. Like maybe the person who discovered her body, Mr. Kurita? Juan? And Miss Andrews, I believe you thought the same thing. That is why you became intimate with Mr. Kurita. I've sat by quietly and listened to your insulting ramblings long enough. It's true that Celeste was my mentor, however, allow me to say this again. It had nothing to do with me. I didn't even know that her suicide note was never found. I'm a person who doesn't care about what goes on in the lives of others. That's the impression you like to give, however. I don't think that's who you really are. What? I have evidence that says otherwise. This is proof that Celeste Impacts was someone very special to you. Miss Andrews, you nearly went through with it too, didn't you? Went through with what? Ending your life. Miss Andrews, you look and act like a very strong woman who has it all together. You don't ask for anyone's help, relying only on yourself. Yes, I've been very independent ever since I can remember. However, that is all just a lie, a facade. You've always searched out people on whom you can depend on. That's... You were dependent on Miss Impacts, weren't you? Which is why, when she passed away, you lost everything you had. Stop! When Celeste passed away so suddenly like that, I died a death of my own, but no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't stop thinking about what had become of her note. You must have heard about the police report. The one that said the police suspected Mr. Kurita of holding Miss Impax's note? You heard about it and thought to recover it from him by getting close, am I right? If that is the case, then everything changes. What do you mean? What topic did we start this conversation on again? It was why was the victim killed? Exactly. Somehow, Miss Andrews, it seems that you have become the one with a reason to want Mr. Kurita dead. Me? Miss Impax was everything to you. And then she died. And you would do anything to find out why she killed herself. Even commit murder. Murder? Thank goodness, we were close to dying. It's true. I am a woman who can only live in insecurity. I'm physically small, and I don't really have a lot of self-confidence. I've pushed against all that, though. I've tried to live strongly. I never wanted anyone to find out the truth.
Miss Andrews?
This one thing, it's the one thing I wanted to take with me to the grave. It was my secret. Mine and mine alone. I'm sorry. You probably think I'm a worthless human being right now, don't you? Please, Miss Andrews, all I want to know is the truth. After Celeste passed away, I heard that someone had hidden her suicide note, and that someone was Juan Kurita. Celeste, without her, I became scared. Everyone seemed like they were out to get me. So you got close to Mr. Kurita to recover her suicide note, correct? Looks like that tabloid reported the truth after all. Ironic, isn't it? Well, like they say, where there's smoke, there's fire. And if they purposely add fuel to the fire, they keep the celebrity world burning. But as for the suicide note, I didn't and wouldn't kill anyone for it. It just doesn't suit me, that's all. Well, that's enough for now. I still have work to do, so I understand. Oh, I have one small favor to ask. Sorry you're still stuck at work, HS. My attempted suicide, I'd like for you to keep that a secret.
Miss Andrews?
If people found out about my weakness, I would sooner choose to die than live. Alright, I understand. We'll keep it a secret. Miss Andrews, I guess she's the overthinking type. She probably never says anything without carefully thinking it through first. Thank you for your discretion. Mr. Nick, can I ask you...
Mr. Nick, can I ask you something?
What is it?
Miss Andrews has been playing with that card in her hand since a little while back.
That card? Yeah, I guess she has. Miss Andrews, what is that card you're holding? Huh? Oh, this? I don't quite know. It just suddenly appeared in my handbag. What is it? It looks like a seashell? That's what it looks like, doesn't it? I honestly don't remember owning this card. I wonder where I picked it up from. For not remembering something clearly sounds like it would be a rare occurrence. Well, I must be off. I leave Mr. On Guard in your capable hands. Well, I think we've gathered about all we can.
What about Mystic Maya? Is she alright?
Oh, Pearl, she looks so worn out by all this. She hasn't slept at all and has been walking all over the place with me today.
What's wrong, Mr. Nick?
Let's go back to the office for a little while. You're really tired, right?
Oh no! I'm okay, really. I'm fine, I really am.
You don't look fine to me.
So, what now?
Well, we did find one thing out for sure. Miss Andrews has a motive.
You mean Miss Impax's suicide note?
That's right. She was also the one to discover the victim's body. Clever.
Ah, Mr. Nick, the transceiver!
Hello? Wright & Co. Law Offices. Mr. Attorney, you're not answering a phone. Maya? Where's Maya? As I promised, I have not gone within a few feet of her this whole time.
Phew.
Which is why I suppose she is absolutely famished. What? So, I suggest you win a quick acquittal, my friend. At any cost, wouldn't you agree? Wait, Maya, let me hear her. Very well. Ask my... Maya, is that you?
Sis, ask my sis.
Can Pearly channel Mia? He cut me off.
I think Maya said ask my sis, didn't she?
Sis, what does she mean by that? Well, her sister? I would assume that she meant sister by sis. Come on, Phoenix. You're so hopeless one. Sorry. Ah! Yeah. Mia? See, here we go. I have a message from Maya, so come, ask me anything you want about her. How's Maya? She's safe for now. That kidnapper is one to keep his word, it seems. I'm glad to hear she's safe, but Mia, how did you know? As soon as she was locked up, Maya called for me. I read the note she left, then I gathered as much information about her surroundings as I could. I didn't know you could use spirit channeling like that. Pretty smart of her. The kidnapper. What is he like? I don't know. Apparently, Maya went to answer a phone call at the hotel and was drugged there. And? She didn't see the face of her attacker. Maya's locked up in a very dark place right now. I'll tell you everything I heard when I was with her. When you were with her? I'm starving. I could really go for some apple pie. I mean, at a time like this, sweets are the only way to go. I have to stay positive. He promised he wasn't going to kill me. I'm not going to die. Hi, Sly. Welcome in. Sis, I wonder if you're with Nick right now. Okay, let's examine. There's all sorts of things piled up here, but it's too dark to see. Huh? Someone dropped a card here? It kind of looked like a business card, but there's no name on it. I've seen that before. It's a picture of a seashell, I think. What a strange card. What a strange card indeed. What's this? It feels like there are a lot of glass bottles here, and these, they feel like barrels? I'll pass. Too bad I'm really hungry and not really thirsty. I mean, it would give you some calories, although on an empty stomach, you'd get drunk real fast. Drat, it's locked. But this door's lock seems easy enough to open. On TV, the hero always uses a plastic card or a stiff piece of cardboard. Then click, they magically open the door. I wonder if there's a card like that around here I could use. Ah, that's it. This shell card. If I use this, maybe I can get the door open. This might be my key out of here. I had a feeling this card might be useful. I'm such a genius. Alright, now if you'll excuse me, Mr. Kidnapper. I did it! Okay, now I'm getting the heck out of here. I shouldn't keep Nick waiting or worried. To be continued. I have some chippies I'm gonna eat, but I know it's gonna make reading things more difficult. Adrian did it? That's what it looks like. Dude, no way! That woman could not do anything like that. In court today, there will be a mountain of evidence that will implicate you. A mountain of evidence? I'm certain there is someone out there trying very hard to pin this whole thing on you. Please, Mr. Lawyer. Dude, like I said yesterday, I'm refreshing like a spring breeze, alright? I can't let any sort of scandal ruin that. I understand. Well, it's almost time. I don't know who's talking. Okay, hi. Mia. We must get a complete acquittal today. I know. But I can't focus on Maya's situation right now. Or Pearl's either. No matter what, I have to focus on winning this case by the end of the day. Indeed. Well, let's get going. So I can't remember how it works, but like, are people seeing Pearls as Pearl? Or are they seeing her as Mia? Or does like, because the channeling is for Miles's, or not Miles, Phoenix's sake. They see her as Mia. Okay. This is Wright. Good morning. This is it, Mr. Attorney. The day of the trial. Maya, she's unharmed, right? Well, when I checked on her earlier this morning, she seemed a bit, how shall we say, tired? Don't worry, please. People don't die that easily. Besides, what you really should be concentrating on is winning today's trial. Ugh. For my sake as well as yours, you must win today's trial. Which is why I sent you a little present this morning. Present? What in the world would you want to give me? You'll figure it out once the trial starts. And even if you don't like my gift, I expect you to graciously accept it and win the day's contest, if you please. Wait. I don't like presents like that. Scary ones. Mr. Lawyer Dude, who is that? No one. It has nothing to do with you, so forget you heard anything. Dude, did your nose just get longer? The court is now in session for the trial of Matt on guard. Are the prosecution and defense ready? The defense is ready, Your Honor. Oh my gosh. I say, Mr. Wright, what happened to Miss Von Karma? I don't know, Your Honor. Why are you getting mad at me? Your Honor. Please be quiet, bailiff. Court is in session. If you must tell me something, please keep it brief. Now then, what is it? Prosecutor. Prosecutor Von Karma has... This morning, Miss Von Karma was shot by an unknown gunman. Hold up. Somebody went to Kapow Pow to Francisca? I mean, I'm not her fan or nothing, but I don't want her to get shot. What? Shot? Somehow, I think this is the present that man was talking about. His present? Miss Von Karma is one of the top prosecutors in the country at the moment. If she were to disappear, it would be to your advantage. This is totally insane. Miss Von Karma, is she alright? I don't have that answer. She's alive and in stable condition. That's good. Phew. Yo. I thought he'd show up. Hi! Your Honor. Due to the circumstances, Miss Francisca Von Karma cannot appear in court today. I, Miles Edgeworth, will be taking her place. The prosecution is ready naturally. So we're against Miles again. Miss Von Karma was shot in her right shoulder and is currently undergoing surgery. Luckily, I have looked this case over and am familiar with the details. The prosecution seeks to prove the guilt of Mr. Matt on guard. The court acknowledges the prosecution. Right. I finally found the answer I was struggling on for my long journey this past year. By the time this case comes to an end, you two will know the answer. Now then, the prosecution would like to call its first witness. Please bring Detective Gumshoe to the witness stand. Witness, your name and occupation. My name's Dick Gumshoe, sir. I'm a detective down at the precinct for now. For now? After this trial's over, I'm supposed to turn in my badge, sir. What? No. No. No, not my gumshoe. Why? I mean, I know he's a little dumb. And maybe not the best at his job. But he's precious. And I don't think he should have to turn his badge in. The prosecution has no need for a depressed witness. Lift your head up and face forward like a proud officer, Detective Dick Gumshoe. Yes, sir. Now, let's have your testimony. If we want to explore the various facets of this case, we must start with that. I can read. Get ready, Phoenix. This is going to be one very rough fight. Yeah, it would have to be with Edgeworth as my opponent. The answer he was struggling for. Interesting. Show me this answer you finally found, Edgeworth. Sorry, I'm crunching my chippy. This murder happened after the Hero of Heroes award ceremony, sir. The victim, Juan Carita, was found dead in his hotel room. After looking into the cause of death, we believe he was definitely murdered, sir. At first, we thought there was something suspicious about the empty guitar case. However, we later found out that the guitar case had nothing to do with the murder. I just have kettle-cooked potato chips from Panera. After the award ceremony ended, the victim was alone in his room? Yes, sir. Both the victim and defendant went alone to their room, sir. I see. Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Would you please give a brief timeline of what happened after the ceremony? Okay, pal. This ceremony started at 6 p.m. It ended around 8 p.m., and then there was a short break. A special post-ceremony show was supposed to start in the lobby 30 minutes later. And that's when the victim's body was found, correct? Which is to say the murder occurred during that 30-minute break period. Please continue with your testimony, detective. The person who discovered the victim's body was Adrian Andrews, correct? Yeah. Who is this Adrian Andrews you're talking about? She's the defendant, Matt Onguard's manager. She's a really pretty lady, sir. Ah, so she's a pretty lady. What does that have to do with the case? What does that have to do with the case? It doesn't matter what she looks like. I wonder if she will grace us with her presence. When the post-ceremony show was about to start, she went to get Mr. Onguard. After visiting his room, she went next to the victim. She next went to the victim's room to get him for the show, sir. I see, and that's when she found the victim's body. After looking into the cause of death, we believe he was definitely murdered. The cause of death, wasn't that because Mr. Carita was stabbed in the chest? Only a careless amateur would believe something so brainless as that, pal. Take a good hard look at the crime photo. Now, a real pro's attention would be drawn here to this bandana. Bandana? The bandana around his neck? Banana. His bandana, sir. That's the thing wrapped tightly around his neck, sir? Oh, yes, I see. His banana-scented bandana. Then what about the knife? It seems to have been stuck in the victim's chest on purpose after his death. We have a crafty murderer on our hands here. Strangled with a scarf, then stabbed with a knife. Doesn't one normally wear a scarf or ascot or bandana or whatever? Like, that's a normal thing, right? And why did you think that? Because it was empty, pal. The Jammin' Ninja doesn't go anywhere without his bright red guitar. Banana, we talking about Dustin's baseball glove again? Yeah, we are. Hi, Tara. Be safe, Puffy. Couldn't find it anywhere at the scene of the crime. Oh, then how about this theory? A fan really wanted the guitar and did the crime to get it. How's that? We thought of that too, but... The only fingerprints on the guitar case were the victims. Only the victims, huh? I see. So much for my theory, then. Yeah, but where is the guitar? We need to know where the guitar is and whose prints are on the guitar. What convinced you it had nothing to do with the case? The guitar wasn't at the Gatewater Hotel that night. Okay. Well, then where was it? The bright red guitar was eventually found at the TV studio. The victim, Juan Carita, had apparently only taken the case with him, sir. That makes no sense! It makes no sense! Why would you do that? So you mean he forgot to put the guitar inside the case? Yes, sir. Even when he was on stage for the ceremony, he didn't have his guitar. So that guitar case was empty even before he got to the hotel. Yep, that's right. So it really had nothing to do with the case after all. I believe that's enough. First, the victim was choked to death with his bandana. Then, after the victim was dead, the killer deliberately stabbed him with a knife. Which brings me to my next point. Why, then, did the police arrest Matt on guard? Because there was reason enough to suspect him. Here it comes. Looks like Edward's back in full... I'm having trouble reading. Looks like Edgeworth's back in full swing. Very well, Detective Gumshoe, please testify about this matter. Yes, sir. Matt on guard and Juan Carita were huge rivals with each other. They each thought the other guy was in his way. That's motive enough in my book. As for evidence, there's the Jammin' Ninja's button. It was ripped off the ninja's costume and was found in Mr. On Guard's hakama. Or hakama. I still don't know how to say that. The defendant's fingerprints were also all over the knife. The defendant bought the knife for the crime. Which makes this a premeditated murder. No! That's like a steak knife off of his room service plate. Do we have receipt that he bought this knife? So the defendant's fingerprints were found on the knife used in the stabbing. It was sort of sticky on the handle, so the fingerprints came out pretty clearly, sir. I bet you that ain't even blood. I bet you that's ketchup. I think this is a little silly. I think this is silly. I think that's ketchup. I don't think it's blood at all. Have we had this lab tested? I don't think we have. I want the lab results first, please. Thank you. But was the defendant pretty? I guess that matters now. See, it says Gatewater engraved on it. It's very obviously from the hotel. And there's this button. That was found in the defendant's clothes, was it? And is this button also covered in blood? Yes, and we know that the blood is on it is the victim's blood, sir. What? All of this points very clearly to the defendant, doesn't it? Yes, it most certainly does, Your Honor. Ready to give in yet, right? Bro, I've been here 5 minutes. I'll find the hole in your argument somehow. You can press as hard as you like. Just hurry up with your usual pointless questions. Ugh. I love Gumshoe, but he's just a little dumb. He's just a little dumb. But in terms of popularity, Mr. On Guard won, did he not? Yeah. But you know what's ironic, pal? Juan Carita was always one step behind Mr. On Guard in everything. This year it seemed like he'd finally caught up, ready for the big final showdown. But Mr. Carita lost the Grand Prix in the end. That is too bad. He must have been pretty downhearted after losing. Wait just 1 second here. Mr. On Guard was beating Mr. Carita in the popularity polls. Well, yeah, I guess, but... Which means that in the defendant's eyes, the victim was not a rival at all. Which means he had no motive to kill at all. I'm sorry. Yes, I quite agree. Well, detective? It's not... Well, I guess if you put it that way, then yeah, the defendant would have had no motive. Thank you. Detective, I'm beginning to see why you were fired. No, not you too, Mr. Edgeworth. Sir, that's... I look forward to your pension negotiations. Yikes. No! Now, Detective, let's continue with testimony. Oh, not my poor pension, too. Detective, if you value your money, I suggest you proceed. Yes, sir. We can talk about my pension later, sir. What about what I was saying? Hello, anyone? Do you have any proof that button belonged to the victim? Huh? What do you mean, pal? Oh, let me put it this way. I'm asking you if you have any evidence to back up your claim that this button was ripped off the Jammin' Ninja's costume. Huh? But can't you tell just by looking at it? And the victim's blood is on it. Anyone could have smeared that blood on there afterward. Mr. Edgeworth, help me, sir. Alright, I knew it had to be this piece of evidence. Now to reel this one in. Thread. Huh? The button was attached to the costume by thread, obviously, and that thread snapped when the button was torn off. If you match up the ends of the thread on the costume with the thread on the button, it's a perfect match. Yeah, that's it. They're a perfect match, pal. Ugh. That's Edgeworth for you. Never misses a beat. When was this button found? Pretty soon after the body was found, we rounded up everyone who knew Mr. Kurita, and then we did a search on them all. That's when we found the button. So it was almost immediately after the murder. The police didn't have the free time to lollygag and play tricks unlike some people. Hey, what is he trying to say about me here? How were the fingerprints arranged on the knife? Huh, what do you mean, pal? By examining the fingerprints, you can determine how the defendant held the knife. For example, did he hold it normally or overhand? Oh, is that what you meant? Well, we didn't actually think of that. I can't believe the bumbling of this department. Hopeless. Were you paying attention to the testimony, right? The defendant's fingerprints were all over the knife. There is no way to determine how the knife was held at the moment of the murder. So the defendant the owner of this knife. So is the defendant the owner of this knife then? No. There is no way this was a premeditated murder, even if he bought the knife. Sorry, pal, this isn't some pocket knife. It doesn't fold, so it's not great for walking around with, either. Well, this is not good. If the prosecution can prove it was a premeditated murder, we're done for. Phoenix? Yes? There's something very interesting about what the detective said just now. Think carefully, before it's too late. Button covered in the victim's blood and the knife with on-guard's fingerprints. Be grateful. If the judge were more rash, he would have already pounded his gavel in closing. We're still in a world of trouble. Well, before any battle, you must find your enemy's weakness. So let's find the weakness in this testimony, no matter how small it may be. Okay. Is their weakness stabbing? Because, like, we have a knife right here. Okay, I'm confused. So, he keeps saying that the button is the thing to press. This tomato juice, though, it could be tomato juice. Welcome back. I think I just saved. The right conclusion about the tomato juice? Which conclusion? Oh, maybe that's a spoiler to tell me. Is this the line that I need to present evidence on? That's all I need. You did state what was wrong. You don't think so. Okay. I think the hint that I'd like is which line I need to present evidence on, because I feel like nothing that Gumshoe's saying makes any sense. And I mean, I have some ideas of things I could present, but the one about the knife. Like, this one, the fingerprints were all over the knife, or that he bought the knife. Okay, got it. This says Gatewater, so I'm going to present this. Wait a second. What? So the basis of your argument was that this was a premeditated murder is simply that my client bought a knife beforehand. That's right, pal. The defendant did not buy this knife. Huh? Take a good look at the handle of this knife, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Huh? Gumshoe is like that meme that's really popular right now, where the one cat is like, and the other cat just goes, huh? Anyway. It has a Gatewater seal set in the handle. Gatewater? I think I heard that name somewhere before. That's the name of the hotel, the Gatewater Hotel. Uh-oh. The murder knife was actually property of the hotel, which means this murder was not premeditated. Yes, that is very true. This is a very big... What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm sorry, but the defense is simply too careless. What? I think whether the crime was premeditated or not has already been determined. How so? I admit this knife is hotel property. There is no one currently on the police force that's dumb enough not to realize this. But I didn't know. Oh. The question is, where did this knife come from? Well, I think it was on the plate. I think it was on the plate of steaks or whatever it was in Matt's room. Why, that's obvious. It came from the victim, Mr. Kurita's room. Sorry, Your Honor, but that is incorrect. The victim ate a last meal before he was murdered. With that being the case, I would like to draw the court's attention to what is on top of the table. There's a knife and a fork on the table. Then, where in the world did this knife come from? If it pleases the court, I would like for us to recall the room of the defendant, Mr. Matt on guard. Ketchup. Especially what was on top of his table. There was something missing. Perhaps, is it a single knife? It is a single knife? See, I knew this before they even said it. Because I'm brilliant. We investigated the leftover dishes for fingerprints, and while we were investigated, we came to the conclusion that Mr. Matt on guard's knife was missing. How do we know that wasn't Adrian's knife? Maybe that was Adrian's plate, and the other plate was Matt's. Did we think about that? Did we think about that now, Mr. Smarty Pants Edgeworth? Edgy enough to check who was eating off what plate, were ya? Ugh. Mr. On guard had gone to the victim's room with the knife he had used during dinner. I'm so sorry, Tara. I guess you just gotta wear shades. No, Matt is not dead. Juan is dead. But Matt is being accused of the murder of Juan. Why would he carry a knife on a visit? To kill, of course. And with that, I believe the prosecution has proven this was a premeditated murder. Amazing, Mr. Edgeworth. Absolutely brilliant. A brilliantly clear deduction. It seems like Edgeworth had this plan from the very beginning. This must be one of those traps, and I just walked headlong into it. A murder weapon with fingerprints and a button from the victim's costume. There is quite a... I'm gonna get my slippies. They're right here. Gotta turn it around. Okay. There's quite a sizable amount of evidence here. I can safely say that any further deliberation is a waste of your Honor's time. Although, I wouldn't mind if the defense were to present evidence not yet shown to the court. Evidence not yet shown? He means evidence that the court hasn't seen yet. I know what that means, Mia. I've done a few of these by now. What does the defense have to say about this, Mr. Wright? Well, Phoenix, the judge is favoring the prosecution right now. If we answer with something wrong here, that's why we gonna save. Mia seems to think Phoenix... I mean, Phoenix kind of silly. Phoenix kind of silly sometimes. The gavel of his... That gavel of his will be ringing out the sound of our defeat. Mr. Wright, do you have something important and necessary to present to this court? Sure! There is one piece of evidence that catches my attention. Something that this court has yet to see. Mr. Wright, I will say this one more time. I do not feel this trial needs to continue at all. However, I'm giving you one chance. And only one. What the judge is saying, right, is don't try pulling one of your usual bluffs here. If I mess this up, it's curtains for all of us. You may now present one and only one piece of evidence. Now then, what is this important evidence that you must show to the court? I don't know. I don't know! Is it the tomato juice? No, don't tell me. I'm just gonna reload.
I'm in a 20.
Yeah, I'll just reload if I'm wrong. Here we go. This is a wine glass, is it not? Please look at the photo of the crime scene one more time. I think I was right. This scene is a mess because of the victim's struggle against his assailant. The vase was broken, his makeup is all over the floor. These were all things that were at one point sitting on top of the dresser. Well, yes, I see your point. However, this glass that is sitting on top of the dresser is mysteriously untouched. The only thing that had not fallen over along with everything else is this wine glass. This piece of evidence is more than strange enough to warrant further consideration. Well, what do you all have to say? Ah, well, yes, it is a little peculiar. Yes, isn't it? I thought it was. You can stop looking at me with those puppy dog eyes of yours now. Mr. Edgeworth? What is it, Your Honor? Your opinion? You don't need my opinion. Because there is no special meaning to that glass. What? It's safe to say that the glass was set there after the crime took place. By the person who discovered the body, Adrian Andrews, for example. She could have easily been so shocked that she had set the glass down without thinking. That does sound very plausible, Mr. Wright. Could Miss Andrews really have set that glass down without thinking? Okay, hang on a second. Hangs on. Brain trying to remember. Brain go... Did Adrian not say something about... You do lots of things without thinking, same. And then sometimes I'll be thinking too much about something. Did Adrian not say something about hating tomato or hating ketchup? Exactly, Terry, you get it. So why would she have a glass of tomato juice if she does not participate in tomatoing? If she's not a tomato girly. But maybe I'm making that up. Maybe that's not actually a piece of information. Maybe I'm forgetting. Did you like that one? Okay, I'm thinking. I mean, I gotta follow through, right? We're gonna save again, but then I'm gonna follow through. It's possible that is what happened. Oh, no, I did the wrong thing. I'm dumb. There's no way. Okay. If I appear weak here, the trial's over. I can look for my proof later. For now, I should trust my instinct and point with certainty. That's such a fitting emoji. They just might fall for it if you're thought-provoking enough. The defense would like to challenge the prosecution's theory. We would like to see something that proves it was Mr. Andrews who set the cup on the table. You've turned the situation on its head yet again, as usual. Mr. Edgeworth, do you have any proof to back up your claim? There's no way he has any, he's just bluffing. Unlike Mr. Wright, I never say anything unless I have the evidence to support it. What? You were not thinking hard enough today, right? Did you think this wine glass escaped my notice? Then, of course it has been thoroughly inspected for fingerprints. Fingerprints? There were only one set of fingerprints left on this wine glass. Only one? Well, whose were they? They were not the victims nor the defendants. Rather, they were of one Adrian Andrews. Well, wait, hang on. This don't make any sense. This is still not making sense. Because if that was a hotel wine glass, there would be hotel employee fingerprints on it. Like the bartender or the dishwasher or somebody's. There's no way that Adrian Andrews went into the kitchen of the hotel, washed this wine glass, and then carried it from the kitchen to the room on her own. Oh, you're thinking like a wet bar in a room? I didn't think about that. But still, I would think that whoever set the glass there, like set the wet bar up, or dry bar or whatever, the little mini bar, mini fridge, whoever set that up in the hotel room would still have their... Okay. What? That is why I said that the person who had discovered the body had left it there. Are we done here, Mr. Wright? Oh, I can't believe I fell into another trap. Miss Andrews was probably holding the glass when she went to see Mr. Kurita. But upon seeing his dead body, she was stunned and set the glass down on the dresser. What you just said makes a lot of sense. Now do you see, Wright? You can't change any part of my scenario, as it explains everything all too well. Ugh. I thought long and hard this past year about what it means to be a prosecutor, and from here on out I will show you the answer I have come to discover. Wait a second, Mr. Edgeworth. I think the prosecution has provided enough evidence for me to enter my verdict. Unfortunately, I cannot allow you to pass judgment yet. The prosecution has yet another witness we would like the court to hear from. Another witness? Yes. Bailiff, please bring in the next witness. What in the world is Mr. Edgeworth thinking? This is called a flex. Oh my gosh, he calls Wendy in? Of all the people that we could have talked to in the court, we have to talk to Wendy Oldbag? I don't want to do that. I don't like her. Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation. Witness, your name and occupation, please. Gotcha. Yeah, I'm just gonna quit. Bye. Ugh. I wonder what happened to that calm composure he had earlier.
Oh, Edgy boy, it's been, what, a year since we last met, hasn't it? You should be more happy to see me.
I saw the report with her testimony, but who knew that under that helmet? It was the Wicked Witch of the witness stand.
I tell ya, this time I know what I'm supposed to do. So today I'm gonna tell you anything and everything. Even things that don't have to do with that terrible crime.
Miss Witness, that terrible crime is all the court needs to know.
Shush, I'm talking to my dear Edgy Wedgie right now.
Okay, look. That's you guys. HS and Coco. I'm just telling you the facts. That is something you would say. I'm not saying entire personality is the same. I'm saying this is a line I would catch you typing, okay? I'm just saying, the evidence is enough for the verdict, okay? I say that affectionately. I just want to make that. Yeah, I'm just saying. If he told you that he liked that nickname, you would do it. Don't lie.
Don't interrupt us, Gramps.
Yes, madam. No, please, by all means, interrupt her, please. You would never catch me typing that again. Ahem. Anyway, witness, your testimony, please. Coco be like, objection!
It's true what they say, that youth are hot-headed nowadays. Not that I mind at all, Edgy. Now then, where should I start with?
The witness was on security detail at the hotel on the night of the murder. Now he's talking like Gumshoe. Is this correct, Miss Oldbag?
It was a great job being able to see my dearie Juan.
If I was Wendy, Disney would have drop kicked me right now. Not anymore, Lisa Kerr or Wendy connection.
It was almost too much for my little heart to handle.
You mean you were a fan of the victim?
Look, everyone is crazy over that on God, saying he's cute in a fresh way or something. But not me, I wouldn't say anything so silly.
Okay, look, you just called him Edgy Wedgie. Don't you even come in here and say I wouldn't say anything so silly when you're literally dropping these pet names. Disney's too lazy to do that. He would have fought in his head.
After all, I have no interest in a little child like him. I'm only interested in a real man, Juan Carita.
But those two were the same age.
Anyway, as I was saying, I was pacing in front of his room that night.
Very well. Please tell the court what you witnessed the night of the murder.
Leave it to me, Edgy Poo.
I have to get really into her voice in order to deliver it properly, and then I feel like I'm very cringy. Isn't one like 20-something, or wasn't, not to be morbid.
Anyway, after the ceremony, I went to pace around in the hallway in front of his room, like a creepy stalker fan. There was something I was interested in finding out, you know? Well, since I was on the job, I made sure to keep a good eye out the whole time. That's when someone showed up. It was a man coming out of poor Juan's room. It was On Guard. Matt On Guard. He was trying to sneak his way out of Juan's room.
She is such a Steve. So Mr. On Guard came out from the victim's room.
See, it had to be him. He's the murderer.
I see. Well, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Okay. Please ask why the flip would you do that? Miss Oldbag, what was your post on that night?
The lobby, I was supposed to be...
Why did I just give her a weird British accent?
The lobby, I was supposed to help set up the stage for that trifling show. But I refused to help, I'll have you know. It was for that lead-headed samurai show. I even took out a few of the nails.
Maybe it was a good thing the show didn't go on.
Besides, that manager with the glasses seemed to be working hard at it without me. So I thought I'd take a break and spread my wings a little.
And that's when you went to hang around the victim's door? Something you were interested in, and just what was that?
It's not some little thing I can just go around telling everyone, you know?
Okay, she is suspicious right now. What thing would you need to know hanging outside of a Stars hotel room that you can't tell the court? If that's not stinking suspicious, I don't know what is. Maybe she did it. Maybe she... No, I don't know if she'd do it.
It's top secret between me and Juan.
Okay, see? See? She is crazy.
An edgy poo, of course.
Mr. Edgeworth, what is this thing she was interested in? I have no idea. I despise gossip, Your Honor. Gossip? But should it prove relevant, we can always have it appended to her testimony later. It looks like we shouldn't force it right now. Did the witness stay in the vicinity of the victim's door the entire time? Oh, then would you tell us the number of people who went in and out of Mr. Kurita's room?
I have no idea. I wasn't born so I could count things for those who didn't pay attention in class. That's why ever since I turned 20, I quit keeping track of how old I really am.
Yes, well, that would explain why your age was not included in the report. In any case, the witness then saw someone, correct?
That's when some...
Okay, we already heard this. Who in the world was that?
I'm not allowed to say. This sort of information is to be carefully guarded from the masses, Sonny. The man that came out of Juan's room. He was.
Yes, he was.
I'm too scared. I can't say his name out loud.
Oh, what I wouldn't give to have Francisca's whip right about now.
Well, I guess I could tell you since he was such a bad boy anyway.
She's been 20 for 90 years. Me too. You saw my client? Are you sure about that?
Yesy.
Really?
Annoying brat, when I say I saw someone, I saw that person.
Why do I get a sense of deja vu? Maybe to avoid a repeat of last year, I should delve into this bit further. Please tell the court about the man's face in more detail.
You don't need me to tell you about his face. That soft, gentle look in his eyes and his effeminate lips. His right eye covered by his silky hair, sparkling, shiny teeth.
His teeth were shining?
Well, he's shining all around in this week's pinup poster, dearie.
This week's pinup? What? Why do you... I mean, I don't care how he looks in this week's issue. Please stay with what you saw that last night.
What? On Guard's face is the same no matter where it is, you know, you whippersnapper.
So, Mr. Wright, was this testimony just now important or relevant in any way? I don't know. I think everything Wendy Oldbag says is pointless, so, Of course it was important, Your Honor. Then perhaps you would like to point out what part of that testimony was important? You don't really have to put it that way to get me to say. Mr. Wright, there is something much more valuable than a person's pride, and that is time. Please don't waste this court's precious time with worthless questions. Yes, Your Honor. I think I just wasted his good favor. She may not remember things or be mistaken here and there. She may, or, okay, but I don't think she's lying. It's bad for us, really bad. But that's how the human mind is. It also has the tendency to jump off topic. She's strayed onto a few interesting side topics this time too, hasn't she? But that's what makes her a sweet old lady, right? Sweet. Shiny teeth that sparkle. That's because you're not the one who has to question her.
Anyway, after the ceremony, I went to pace around in the hallway in front of his room.
Okay. All right. I think I need to ask about something else. Perhaps his clothes. Because if he wasn't in the Hakama, then that piece of evidence would be irrelevant, right? Please tell the court about the man's clothes in more detail.
What a troublesome man you are, really, as if something like that matters.
But it does.
Now what was it? Oh yes, it was that thing.
What thing?
That gaudy thing he's always wearing, that racing jacket.
That's not a Hakama. Oh, he was wearing that at the detention center, too.
That thing's meant for nothing but seducing women out of their pantaloons.
Excuse me?
Men!
Right.
So, Mr. Wright,
Was this test? Yes, it was. So now I think I'm gonna present the button on that line, because if he was not in his Hakama, then the button being found in his Hakama doesn't make any sense. Okay, so if he's wearing the flashy racing jacket, then this button. Yeah. Miss Oldbag?
What? Don't say my name for no reason.
Do you know what this is?
Ah! It's button number 2 on the Jammin' Ninja's costume.
Now I know she's an obsessed fan. She identified it in a single glance.
Give it here! Give it here! You don't give it to me, I'll punish you with this!
Wow, she really is a diehard fan to want a button covered in blood. This button was discovered on Mr. Enguarde's body during a full body search.
See? This button proves beyond a shadow of a doubt it was that rascal Enguarde.
It was caught up in the pleats of his Nickel Samurai Hakama pants.
See? And Enguarde is the Nickel Samurai.
Witness? She better not be my Christmas future. I don't want to be Coco Oldbag when I grow up. Now, it may just be me, and I do have an active imagination, but just now, didn't you say that the defendant, Matt Enguarde, was wearing his usual racing jacket?
I'm so sorry. Sorry that you judge people based on what they wear. If I wore the trendiest dress, then maybe what instead I'd just have to put up and wear this ridiculous looking outfit. This outfit's hideous, right? You got a tape recorder stuck on my chest. It's heavy, so heavy I wish I would have switched to CD's Dream Alive for all those kids out there. I work hard with you, understand? Now take a look in the mirror. Your clothes are about documentary on curling. You should take a tip or 10 for...
Now hold your tongue still there for 1 second. So what you saw in actuality was not Mr. Enguarde, the man, but Mr. Enguarde, the Nickel Samurai.
But when you think about it, they're really one and the same anyway.
Miss Oldbag, this is a very important point we're talking about.
Edgy Poo, do you think so too?
Well, it might be something worth considering. Just say it's important and agree with me for a change. Witness, think carefully and try to remember as much as you can before you testify.
All right, if you insist.
I should be the one sighing, not you. Okay.
On God. On God. Yes, now I remember. The Nickel Samurai. That's right. It was the Nickel Samurai that I saw. Yes, it would have been convenient for him to wear his costume during the murder. He had to go to that post-ceremony stage show right after the crime, you know. So he must have worn that Nickel Samurai costume when he was stabbing poor Juan.
Look, why? Why do we not just think, oh, you had to have lied about seeing him? If you're like, oh, of course he was wearing this. That's so different than the Nickel Samurai costume. Why are we even allowing her to testify any longer? She's obviously lied. Okay, sorry. I knew it. I knew you'd say he was inside that costume.
What? Did you think there could have been someone else inside that costume? Don't be a bad little boy thinking such rude things.
But the possibility does exist.
Ah, youngins today, I told you there's no way it was anyone else.
How do you know that?
Because I said so, and what I say is the truth.
No, it's not. You already lied in court. I'm sorry. I'm fine. I'm great. Perjury isn't a crime in Ace Attorney Court. Well, it should be. These cases would be a lot shorter if so. At least she's just as delightful a witness as she was a year ago. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Would you please get on with your testimony?
Watch your language, young man. What sort of tone is that to take with an elder? My youthfulness isn't what it used to be, so you should forgive me for everything. If you keep on barking at me like that, I'll start singing at the top of my lungs.
What?
A striking figure by the sea, standing all alone is he. He's the Nickel Samurai.
She's actually singing. Someone help my poor ears. Mr. Edgeworth, can you please do something about this racket? Witness, I'll give you a piece of gum later if you'll just be good and stick to the facts.
Okay! You promise, right?
Right. I'll be sending the bill for the chewing gum to your office at a later date. Remind me to send you a thank you note later too, Edgeworth, old chum. Be a little more careful with your testimony, please. Not too long ago, you said he was wearing his racing jacket and now he's not?
Not too long ago. Then let me ask you this. When you were itty-bitty, what was your grand dream?
Huh?
What did you want to be when you grew up, whippersnapper?
My dream, huh? Well, I wanted to be Judge Wagner, hero of the public's court, so what?
See? And look where you are now. You're not Judge Wagner, are you? Are you?
Well,
what I said earlier. Who puts any weight into things like that? The now is everything. I can't be held responsible for the past.
Yes, you can. You literally should be. Since when did court become theatrics over testimonies? Yeah.
All that matters is that man was inside that costume. Isn't that enough?
And why would that be?
That way, no one can see his face, of course.
But there's still no advantage for him that I can see. In fact, you would think the costume would make him stand out all the more.
You are such an annoying child. You know that? You disagree with everything I say.
Isn't that what you're always doing to me?
I got it. Maybe it was more troublesome for him to change in and out of his costume.
Was there anyone else scheduled to appear at the post-ceremony show?
Well, all the contestants were supposed to go on stage in a friendly gesture thing.
And that included the Jammin' Ninja?
Of course it included him. That's why when On Guard came out of Dear Juan's room, I didn't give it a second thought.
I see.
Well, anyway.
Thank you for doing all the shout-outs. So let me ask you one last time. The person you saw, it really was the Nickel Samurai.
As showy as ever. Haven't I been saying that from the very beginning?
Can I throw that in the towel yet? You don't need to think too hard on this one. Huh? There's a contradiction in her testimony, and it's sitting in plain sight. The question is what that contradiction means for us. Well, I have to figure out what you're talking about first, but okay. Okay, contradiction. So, I thought the implication was that he was strangled first. Hi, Zippy. I wish I knew the contradiction here. I'm confused. Literally, there's ketchup right there. I'm gonna try. Nope, this not right. Whoopsies. I need something to tickle my brain in the right direction. How would it have been convenient for him to wear his costume? Oh! Oh! His hands are covered. There couldn't have been fingerprints. There couldn't have been fingerprints. Okay. Okay. So I think the line about him must have been wearing it while stabbing is the thing, because there's no way. Please be right. What? That has to be it, right? Because if he was wearing the costume and stabbed Juan, then his fingerprints... Well, I guess that wouldn't matter if this was the fingerprints from his steak knife anyway. Or from his steak plate anyway. So maybe that's not. Oh, I'm so confused. Okay, I'll take a hint from the chat, maybe. I'm losing steam fast. It's approaching 10 o'clock and I'm just like getting really brain dead. Okay, thank you. I feel like I go through so slowly. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that it takes me literally years to go through a game. It's very difficult for me to quickly go through a game that I'm not familiar with. Stabbing poor Juan. Could you give me advice? The game with a lot of abstract puzzles, problems. I've tried some Nancy Drew games, but they have few of those. Are you wanting a suggestion for a game? Is that what you're asking for? Like a game to try? Okay. Do you want to play them in English or do you want to... I think you're Russian. I'm not sure if this game is in Russian, but I really like the Professor Layton games. Those are very puzzle-heavy games with good story. And you're okay with English? Then I would try the Professor Layton games. I think there's like 9 or 10 of them, so... And they're pretty lengthy puzzle games. Yes, Professor Layton. That's exactly how Layton is spelled. L-A-Y-T-O-N. So, I think you would like those. Alright. It's a long series, so take your time. The only way I had to play all these, because I got into them when I have summer, now that I'm working and in school, it makes it difficult to find time. Yeah. I just mean, like, I feel like in general... Okay, good. If you try them, let me know what you think about them. I feel like in general, I'm just like the slowest streamer on the planet. Let's see. So, I'm gonna try this again. Okay. Please take a look at this.
Yeah, so it's a knife. Big deal. If you're trying to scam me with that, I'll have you know it won't work.
No, that's not my intention. That's the knife that was used in the murder, correct? Your Honor, do you know why this piece of evidence is important to this case? You don't even have to ask. It's because the defendant's fingerprints are on it. Is that what you're driving at? That is exactly what I'm driving at. What are we driving at? And whose car are we driving? If Mr. OnGuard was really in the Nickel Samurai costume at the time of the murder, then it's impossible for his fingerprints to have been left on this knife. Why did you fix me on advice suggest word? What do you mean? Oh, advice advice me. So I think you meant to use the word advise, which is very similar, but it's spelled A-D-V-I-S-E. Advice would be like the noun, like I would give you advice. But to advise you is the verb. So that's the action of giving advice, is to advise you. So the way that you used it, I think you meant to say, could you advise, which would be the action of giving you the game, like a game suggestion. Does that make sense? Hopefully I explained that well. So it wasn't technically wrong. It was just like another, like, I guess, version of the word. Just one is a noun and one's a verb. Yes, exactly. Okay. Actually, he would have wiped all previous fingerprints on this knife right off. Oh, that's right. The Nickel Samurai wears gloves, doesn't he? He probably took his gloves off before he began the stabbing. And why would he do something like that? To leave his prints on the murdered weapon? There is no way he would do something like that. However, there is one possibility. Then let's hear about your possibility. It's very simple. The defendant went to the victim's room while in costume as the Nickel Samurai. At that time, the defendant held no intent to murder. He was probably just going to relax and talk with the victim about the stage show, which is why he took his gloves off. But the murder still did take place. It's well known that there was bad blood between the defendant and the victim. Yes, I have heard that before. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say about Mr. Edgeworth's theory? So let me get this straight. Edgeworth's theory goes like this. When the defendant went to the victim's room, he had no intention of killing him. Now, up to this point, are there any problems with this theory? Well, was not the plan earlier, was not the angle that Miles was pushing, was that this was a premeditated? Gloves are off! Punch him in the face! Okay. So, save the game. Okay. I think that there is a contradiction, because if this was premeditated murder, that makes no sense. This theory contradicts something in an earlier testimony. What are you babbling about? Now, for argument's sake, let's suppose Mr. OnGuard was the killer. If that's the case, I think it's impossible for the killer to have gone to the victim's room without intent. Wait, what? Now I'm confused. What am I presenting here? Am I presenting Gumshoe? Because he was the one that said this must be premeditated? It's the best option, the face punching. I do like a good face punch. You're showing the intent. I'm still confused. What shows he went with intent? Like, I have to give evidence for the reason that OnGuard would have gone into the room in the first place? Maybe the press conference ticket? Because he was gonna confess something? Oh, evidence that shows he had intent to murder. I don't think I understand. I don't think I understand. All I was trying to do was say that, no, Miles, you can't change your tune and suddenly be like, oh, he didn't intend to kill the dude. When literally 20 minutes ago, we were trying to figure out, I was trying to prove that it wasn't premeditated because you were insisting it was. So I don't think I understand. Oh, I don't understand. Just use Wendy / Coco's reasoning, because I said so. No. Miles can do whatever he wants, because I I'm just trying to understand. I'm trying. I don't understand. I thought I was following, and now I'm lost, and I'm tired, and I really want to stop my stream, but I need to get to a safe point. Evidence that shows he had intent to murder upon entering. What came from another room that ended up on the dead body? This, the knife, again. This knife. Why do I keep using the same evidence over and over and over? I get so confused when the cases do that. Because sometimes it's like, no, you're only going to use each piece once, you dumb idiot. Why would you use something twice? And this is like the 4th time I've had to show this bloody knife. It's not even bloody, this ketchupy knife. I'm pretty sure it's not bloody. It was used by Mr. Onguard at dinner. Yes, we did establish that. Which means that if my client was in fact the killer, then he brought this knife with him when he went to visit Mr. Kurita. I suppose. However, you just said it yourself. At that time, the defendant had no intent to murder. If that were true, then why would he bring a knife? He wouldn't, would he? So I feel like we are suddenly throwing our client under the bus. Which means, Mr. Edgeworth, your theory was flawed from supposition 1. And one more thing. If the murderer was wearing the costume at the time of the murder, then there should be glove marks left on the knife. Which means the defendant's fingerprints shouldn't be all over it like bees on a hive. And that brings me to my final point. This knife was planted by the real killer to hide their identity and mislead us. Order, order, I say. Order in the court. Was this knife really planted by the killer? Why would the murderer do such a thing? To frame Matt Onguard. It's to frame my client, Mr. Onguard, of course. To frame? Aren't you forcing the interpretation just a little too hard on this one? But we just established that the witness saw the Nickel Samurai in costume, and if that were true, then there shouldn't be a single fingerprint on this knife. Witness?
Looks like I made your life a tiny bit more difficult, huh, Edgy Poo?
Witness, did you or did you not really see the Nickel Samurai?
Well, I guess at first I might have forgotten, but...
Are you saying you mixed up Mr. Onguard with the Nickel Samurai, his character on TV?
But I mean, I can't really do anything about that now. Look, I was waiting around in front of the doors because, well, I wasn't waiting around for the Nickel Samurai, that's for sure. She wasn't waiting for the Nickel Samurai. Alright, then who were you waiting around for? That's top secret to anyone outside of security.
I have a feeling that you were waiting for Mr. Juan Kurita. Am I right, witness?
The way you think, you are a sad amateur with a terrible case of nearsightedness.
Amateur? Me? What am I an amateur of? So Old Bag was waiting around in front of the victim's room. But it doesn't sound like she was waiting to catch a glimpse of Mr. Kurita. Maybe Phoenix. Maybe the Old Bag was waiting around for that person. If it's who I think Mia's hinting at, it's certainly possible. Miss Old Bag, you were waiting for this person to come out of the victim's room, weren't you? This is Adrian Andrews, Mr. Onguard's manager. But why would the defendant's manager be in the victim's room? It seems that this is the latest rumor in circulation, Your Honor. Oh, this is, well, this, I see. The judge seems to be really into the article, if it can be called such a thing. Then this manager with the initials AA, are you saying it's Adrian Andrews? Without a doubt, the witness thought so as well.
Looks like you found me out. Well, that's fine. I could throw away this whole sworn to confidentiality stuff then.
Witness? What in the world are you... Watch out, Phoenix. I got a bad feeling about this. A very bad feeling.
I got some information, some very secret information from a certain source. So that's why I was doing my own little investigation. In secret, of course.
But what for?
Oh, just for myself. Personal reasons and all that.
Well, Mr. Edgeworth, how will you proceed from here? I really don't want to do this, however, I simply cannot let this point slide. I see. Very well then, witness, please testify about this secret information.
Get ready! This is gonna take the wind out of all you youngins.
I'm sure we're all capable of handling this. Really, it's not like we're 10 years old. Okay, I'm gonna save here. Because my brain is shut. Oh boy. I'm trying. I'm trying my bestest here. But anyway, thank you for being here. I did have a good time. Even though I do get frustrated sometimes at the vagueness and also the lack of my own remembrance of things, I do enjoy this game. So yeah, 10 p.m. is very late for me. I'm usually in bed by this point, so, and I still have a few things I need to do before I get into bed, so I'm gonna call it here. But hopefully I'll be able to stream again soon. I hope you guys have a good rest of the day, night, week. Again, thank you for being here. I'll see you all again soon. Bye-bye!